What up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Talking Movies with D, and that's me. As always, I'm your host, Derek Woodrin, actor, model, and big movie buff, and today I'm doing the reviewing The Night Before. The Night Before is another Seth Rogen movie with Anthony Mackie and what's his name, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and basically it's three friends who how can I say their name? Joseph Gordon-Levitt. His character, basically his parents passed when he was younger, and it was right around Christmas. And since then, him and his other two friends made a pact to every year their family and they're spending Christmas together and doing whatever. And it's I believe 10 years later, and this is their last time doing this Christmas. And you can tell right away that Anthony Mackie and Seth Rogen's character are kind of tired of it, and but they're doing it for their friend. But they're kind of like their lives are changing to where they don't really feel like it's needed and feel like he needs to make a change. And first for foremost, first thing is I did like the movie, but I have to say, if you're not a person who likes Seth Rogen comedies, you don't like raunchy comedies, and you get easily offended, this is not the movie for you. I actually had a older couple, and the reason I say older couples, they were very old. They were literally trying to move in seats in front of me, and they're kind of like, gotta move. And I was wondering why they were in the movie, but even with the trailers that they played before the movie, they were laughing, and the guy was like, "We're seeing that, like Deadpool and stuff like that, all the cussing and stuff." He was like, "Yes, I want to see that." So, if you like those kind of movies, this is a movie for you, and like Family Guy or whatever. And so, let me get with my negatives, and I don't have very many. And with comedies, this is real hard because you really go for laughs, and if it's funny, you excuse them anyway. But Jillian Bell, who's from 22 Jump Street, I don't feel like she was utilized as much as I would have wanted her to. Granted, it wasn't really about her, and she was kind of funny in it. I just wish she had more screen time, just because I liked her from 22 Jump Street, and I didn't feel like she got to be as funny as she actually is. And it happened with a couple of the other auxiliary characters, but it was about the Seth Rogen and those guys, so you kind of excuse it. So I was kind of nitpicky, but another thing, and it happens a lot with comedies, is the jokes. Some of the big jokes were in the trailer, like the part in the church. Granted, there's still some jokes in the church that are funny as well. I think they kept out the funniest joke from the church, and that kind of just made a continuous laugh. Like I laughed real hard, and then my laughter was continued by other jokes that I already knew were coming. But I just wish they would have just did a couple of them in there. But it's marketing. You gotta get butts in the seat. So I see why they do it. And I guess my other negative is it started off a little slow. There was a couple jokes in the beginning, and then it really just ramped up when they ended up going out to celebrate their Christmas. So but again, that's something you expect from comedies as well. Is that you got to set it up, you got to give you all the jokes in between, and then you got to set the story in the end. Positives though, man, to me, it's an instant classic. I know I'm gonna watch this movie multiple times, whether in theaters or when I have it on Blu-ray. And then it's gonna be one of those movies that I quote my friends. Me and OJ have already started quoting stuff, talking about some of the jokes. Again, I'm not gonna spoil those things because why would I do that? The jokes are better than the movie, then I can do them. So I literally was crying laughing in the movie. So that's a great plus. That's what you want in a comedy. Um, Surprisingly, another positive is the message. I didn't expect a message from this movie, but I guess I should have because of the way the story went. And it's basically, and it's something me and my friends have been going through recently is, everybody's growing up, and you can still be friends with your friends, but we have responsibilities. People having families of their own and stuff. So you're definitely not going to do things the way you did when you were younger, high school, early 20s. When people start having families, you gotta prioritize. But it doesn't mean you guys have to stop being friends. And that's the main message in the movie. It's not really a spoiler. It's just part of the story, and you're going to see it right at the beginning anyway. Uh, I think another positive is definitely the chemistry between the characters. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Anthony Mackie, and Seth Rogen have great chemistry, and I have to say, Anthony Mackie really held his own to say that he's with these two, Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who work together and both have great chemistry and very funny. Anthony Mackie, now he wasn't the funniest out of the three, but he wasn't like dead weight either. So I mean, Seth Rogen's the comedian mainly, and he was the funniest. And there's so I got to give it to those guys to be able to stay in the ring with them and just give jokes as well. My last positive that I'm going to talk about, which is very funny, is that the cameos. There's there's three surprising cameos in the movie. Two were great. One was cool. I mean, it didn't take away from the movie or anything. Kind of it still was a surprise. But two of the cameos, which I'm not gonna give, were funny. But they when they were on, they kind of stole the show. Uh, so I definitely was happy with seeing these characters. And they're actors I really like too. All three cameos are actors I like. So or comedians I like too. So that was very enjoyable. And I think that's all I have for my positives. And I'll just wrap it up and give you my score, and that's it. So seen the night before, and this was a movie that I really was excited to see. It probably so far is my favorite comedy of the year, and I can't wait to see it again. So I'm gonna give this score a 9. Give it a 9 out of 10, and that's because I love comedies and it did everything I wanted. You know, when you watch a comedy, you have to laugh, and if I can cry laughing, it's got to be instant classic. Especially when me and OJ immediately start talking about it. It's like, hey, instant classic. If you're saying instant classic when you first see it, it's got to get higher. The only reason it's not a 10 is because it had some flaws. It did have some flaws, and I wouldn't. It's not gonna beat my favorite comedies, definitely. So that's why I give it a 9 out of 10. But please let me know if you've seen Nightfall. If Nightfall is just not your movie, so you don't see it, you know, because it is a raunchy comedy. But let me know what you guys think. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at dwood2324. And I'll get you guys next time. Hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving. Deuces.